Ow, wow.
Alrighty. Hello Yazu, hello Oshu, how y'all doing? Alright, this is gonna be a scuffed low energy stream, so fair warning, apologies in advance. But Puyo indeed. I'm participating in this, they call it Pass the Mod, but if you've ever watched any of the YouTube videos or seen any thumbnails for a YouTube video of like, I had 6 different game developers make a game without talking to each other. It's basically that. Someone makes the initial mod, and then we pass it down from one mod developer to the next. And the idea is you have no communication, you just get handed the project in its current state, and you've got a fixed amount of time to make changes to it. So in this case, I think I'm going second. What it looked like. I don't know how many people are participating in total, but I'm early on in the chain. Did I do quiet compared to the music? Default doubled. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I got desktop audio set up, so it's gonna be a little bit loud. Sorry about that. Like I said, it's gonna be scuffed. I've got a lot of things shuffled around so I can use my main monitor for dev work. I'll just turn the music down in VLC, that makes more sense. And then I'm gonna turn off StreamerBot as a separate audio source for now. It's a VTuber stream without scuff. I don't know. Is it even a VTuber stream at that point? So yeah, that's where we're at. I've got 5 hours to add new content, not counting setup time. So that's what I'm doing right now is the setup, just trying to get the project loaded. I've just opened this up in Unity, and I'm already seeing a lot of error messages in the console. That's not super promising. Let's see. Modded scene. There's some stuff over there. Oh, there's a couple things. So when I started working first, you need to figure out what the vision was. Yeah, basically. There's also kind of this idea of like intentionally not knowing what's going on so that you end up kind of just putting your own spin on it and making it more than what the original developer intended. So I'll be working on this, and then someone else is going to get this project from me with no context and have to figure out, okay, now what am I going to add to this? Alright, so it looks like there's some models that aren't loading. Let's see. There's a cactus model, a ring model. It's not loading. See some stuff. It looks like that's made up of default models. Those look like parts from like the Ash Twin project or something. Let's see. It wants a specific Blender version. Let me see if I can go install that real quick. Is there anything here that's going to dox me? I don't think so. Blender 2.5 to 2.49 or 2.58 and later versions. I think I've got... What version of Blender do I have? I got 3.4 and 4.5. I feel like one of those should work. Unity, Blender... 4. Blender could not convert the blend file to FBX. Yeah, basically doesn't work. Okay, cool. Okay. You can register the Blender version. Maybe that works. Let's see. I'll try that. Said a lot of this is going to be boring setup where I'm just reading forum posts to figure out how to get this project to load. So sorry in advance for this being a boring stream. Alright, so what am I looking for here? I said preferences, system, register. Preferences, system, register. Okay, cool. So now if I close and reopen this, does that fix it? Pass the mod Unity. So I can't get the project to load. I'm gonna have a hard time making changes to it. That looks promising. I'm seeing import settings at least. Okay. Cactus missing prefab. That's not promising. There's supposed to be cactus here, but it's not loaded. If I hit re-import. Nope, still didn't work. Okay. Didn't seem like a happy sound, not particularly. Still can't import the Blender file. So Unity has this thing where if you 3D model your stuff in Blender, you can drop your Blender project straight into the Unity project, and it will convert it for you so it can load. But that only worked in a very specific previous Blender version, and the newer versions don't work as well. Alright, let's see if we can just manually fix this. I'm just following forum posts at this point. Projects... I don't think any of this doxes me. Hopefully. Not projects. Programs. Unity editor. And we are using 2019.4.39. Editor, data, tools. Unity Blender to fbx.python. That looks right. Okay. Looks pretty simple, at least. So where does this happen? looks familiar. Yeah. Drop it too hard, it's gonna break, exactly. ArgV. ArgV. App file. Join. Okay, that looks right. STD out. Equals open. V. Then can I append? Yeah, lots. Okay. Let's see if that works. I just made a bunch of code changes to a file I don't really understand. Did that change anything here? No. I think that's the right folder. Looks like the right version. Do this right. Alright, how about just under f2fvx.log. Let's try that. And did that create a file for me? The error logs? No. Okay, I don't think it's running. What is this? You don't have permission to open it. Okay. It's my computer. I'm not sure how that works. I can manually replace it, but that takes some time. I don't really want to do that. Alright, well, I guess we'll do that. Okay. This is the default scene. I wanted to open cactus. There is no cactus. There is only the default cube. That's concerning. Got the default Blender cube, and I'm not seeing the models that these are supposed to be. Choose to think the cactus isn't real and only exists in your head. Maybe. Hello! Hello again. It's been a while. I remember you from the... We were playing Outer Wilds at one point. I think. Were you playing one of my mods, or were you just playing another mod and I was just randomly raiding you? I don't remember. But I remember us interacting over Outer Wilds, so hello. Welcome in, welcome in. We are doing it's called Pass the Mod, where we are working on a modding project that someone else worked on. We've been given no communication from them on what the mod is supposed to be. We're supposed to just take it as it is, add our own changes to it, and pass it on to another developer to make their own changes. So we kind of like playing a game of telephone. Where no one really knows what the project is going to look like by the end of it. Should be fun. Alright, but yeah, this isn't working. I think we will just leave that alone for now. I guess we can't get the models loading. Hopefully that's not important. That would be tragic. Let's see if we can get the code project running. Just the thing, the cactus isn't real and only exists in my head. Yeah, certainly feels that way. Okay. Yeah, not much in here, just loading in planet configs. They do have the asset bundles in here. Okay, that's good. So I build this project, and that should install the new mod for me. Yep. Well, it's past the mod 2026. Alright, well, nothing else is working, but we can try loading this game up and seeing what happens. See what's actually in-game in the mod, even if the Unity project doesn't have the 3D models in it. Too many windows open. There we go. Okay, anything different on the title screen? Doesn't look like it. Cactus. That's true. Well, the cactus might still be in the mod, because we've got the files that have already been added to the mod. We're just gonna load it to make any changes to it. Okay. We are still in the regular solar system. Let's go grab our suit and see if there's anything different there. Different on the map, maybe? Oh yeah, they did just add a warp drive to the top of the ship. That's not part of this mod, that's part of New Horizons, which is the base mod that everyone uses. That's cool. Because they added the ability for us to warp to other solar systems. And they're like, well, there's no actual warp drive on the ship, so we should fix that. So someone modeled a new warp drive on top. Like warp core in there. No my parts. Oh. It's very bulky though. I got this taped over the reactor too. Alright, anything new in the base system? Oh, there is. No, it's Dark Bramble. I saw the green outline, I'm like, oh, that's new. No, that's always been there. It looks like Nomai Tech with Hearthian reinforcements. Yeah, exactly. It's very thematically appropriate. Alright, then in that case... Oh yeah, and as part of that, they also changed the interstellar mode as a whole. So now you can see like a pseudo 3D view of all the other star systems. Yeah, this is really neat. This is technically a 2D screen, but they like position things so that it looks 3D. It's kind of cool. So we're gonna lock onto the Deadlight system. Okay, we'll try warping there. We can run Crisis. Probably not, but who knows? Can run Doom. I did mod that in at one point. Yeah, unfortunately, warping is just a single button press. I kind of want to like make it so that it's got like a full warping animation though. I think that'd be fun. You have to like hold down the button to charge up. Everything can run Doom, exactly. Oh, okay, we've fallen down. Alright, so we got a custom solar system here, it looks like. What's that at the bottom? That looks weird. So we got this big unidentified orb in the center. We got a planet sandstone, flower pot, and ice shard. Weird reflection? Yeah, it could be. It could be a black hole. It's kind of hard to tell. Let's see. That is pretty looking. What is that? Oh. Ah! Really close to whatever that is. That's really dark. Oh, hi. Ow. Exactly. Oh, shit. Okay, well. That is really hard to see. Okay, but there's some kind of cap on it. It looks like a giant light bulb, basically. So that's a solid object. Ship breach detected. You don't say. Oh boy, yeah, I can't fight this gravity. What's the bright idea? Okay, yeah, basically is a light bulb. That's a solid surface. That's not a sun. It's letting off light. Interesting. Yeah, there's like glass around it. Oh, we're all the way back here. So you don't respawn there. Good to know, I guess. So we do need to warp there every time. That could get annoying. Depending on what we do there. There's the cactus that we're talking about. Yeah, move the spawn point for testing purposes. Yeah, we will be able to. It's just not currently set up that way. What is the solar system called? Deadlight system. And we go into options here, mods, New Horizons. Debug is enabled, default system override, custom system name. Cool. So now we should respawn here. Yep. So here's the cacti that we couldn't get to spawn. There's some custom cactus models here. So they act like cactus, yep. Puncture your suit, do a little bit of damage. Very good. What else do we got here? We got a ring that goes around this, so it's even moving. That's fancy. And yeah, okay, so that's what we were seeing in the Unity project, even though parts of it didn't load. So there's all these solar panels rotating around along this track. Yeah, it's a monorail, exactly. This planet's very rocky. You got kind of a sand sphere down inside there in the cracks. And everything else is just rock with cactus spread across it. Very cool. So here are the planets again. This is sandstone. Then we got flower pot and ice shard. Alright, let's go check out Flower Pot. There it is. I couldn't tell, but it really is just a giant light bulb. That's fun. Eureka! I have an idea. Maybe a giant solar system sized house, but with sandstone and ice shard, maybe not. Yeah. I think it's just plant growth themed, maybe? Or like solar power themed in general. So these are bramble nodes. They're bramble vines with glowy edges. Why is there an arrow here? Oh, is it hollow? Is that what they want us to see here? So I just have a big floating arrow. Let's see if there's a better way to signpost that, maybe. It looks dumb, but it works, yeah. Oh, okay, that hurt a lot. Gravity here is higher than I expected. It is Hearthian gravity. That's gonna be a problem. I don't think I can jet back up here. Okay, well the ship fell down anyway. I think if they want me to fly into there, it's gonna have to... All fell more than 1.0. Yeah, it's just cumulative. And the scale of this thing is so big. Throws things off. Alright, is that gonna... Nope. Okay, This might be tricky. I'm not... My first thought is I'm gonna lower the gravity on this planet, but I'll wait until after I've seen everything first. Then we can officially start our work phase. Yeah, 1.0 feels too high for this. I do like the glowy lines. Alright, yeah, we can't quite get up there, but we can see it. Anything down this way? Just, a deadly pink spot. And yeah, we can't rocket out of this. Alright, so we just have to die here. There's no way for us to escape. Definitely needs lower gravity if they want us to be jetpacking around it here. Either that or a landing platform for the ship. So you can walk out. And then not have that be a dead end. It's cool though. I like the flower pot. And let's check out Ice Shard. Alright, there we go. He successfully respawned in the system with the debug settings. That saves some time. Now, this doesn't have a name, does it? At least not on the ship view. Let's head to Ice Shard. And is there anything in the ship logs? No, there are no ship logs yet. Dead Light is the name of the star. That makes sense. Literally, it's just a giant flower pot. Very fun. Okay, so what's Ice Shard going for it? It is a bunch of ice. Kind of squeezed at the equator, or at the poles rather. Whoa! Hi, lol. How's it going? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on here, but we do have an icy rock to put stuff on, so that's cool. Yeah, so today we're not actually playing a game. I mean, we sort of are. We are developing a mod for Outer Wilds based on this starter project that someone else made. So I don't know if you've ever seen a video that's like, we had 8 developers make an indie game without talking to each other, or something like that. The idea is like, one person starts making the mod, and then they hand it off to someone else without telling them anything about it. And then they've got a certain amount of time to make changes, and then they hand it off to the next person in the line, and so on until the last person's made their changes. The idea is, yeah, we're making a mod for the game, but we're going to be just adding some changes to it and then passing it on to someone else. It seems like I'm very early in the chain. I think I'm the second person, maybe third person. I think second. But it had something there to be a pink arrow pointing to it, probably. Yeah, so this is what we've been given. So it's those 3 planets, the big light bulb, and all this. I'd add a xenomorph. If I could model a xenomorph, I would. Alright, cool. I definitely feel like this is going to be important for something. Can you steal from Alien Isolation? I feel like generally the community frowns upon stolen assets. And we do have quite a few very talented modelers in the community. I'm just not one of them. I can only do very basic models. Alright, so this is what we got. We got our custom solar system. We've got sandstone, which has the terrain. It's got the cacti. It's got the monorail with the solar panels on it. Nobody has to know. Someone will know. We got flower pot, which has the vines in the flower pot, the arrow pointing into a gap in it. That could definitely be an important location. We got ice shard, which currently has nothing on it as far as I can tell, but it's another planet we can put stuff on. And let me double check the rules real quick here. So you get 1 whole week to put in 5 hours of work on your turn. 5 hours is subjective, but active time spent working on the project in Blender, Unity in-game, Visual Studio. Downloading and setting up shouldn't count against your time. Yeah. Alright, so I think given that if I'm going to start making any changes, we should start the content timer. I set up live split just for this. Hopefully that's showing up on stream. Let's see. Can I remember how to do this? I think it's that shortcut. There we go. Okay. So now we started the timer on actually producing new content for the game. We have 5 hours in total to make changes. My thought so far is I am definitely a programming as my primary skill set here. I'm not great at modeling, I'm not great at music composition, and I'm okay but not amazing at writing. So I think what I want to do, especially since we're early on in the process too, is I want to create a gimmick or mechanic for this mod. Something that requires some custom code to set up, so that future developers will have a puzzle to build their mod around. Build the mod around. I think that's going to be the play. That also means I don't have to worry about not being able to load the models, because I can just leave all the models as is and add some custom stuff on top through code. So I think we'll go with that. Let's leave Unity open for now. We might create some additional props as placeholders, but we can start with just pure code. So first off, for the flower pot, we wanted to lower the gravity. We can do that real quick. All this code text is going to be pretty much impossible to read on stream. Sorry about that. I'll zoom in a little bit. Alright, so flower pot, surface gravity of 0. I don't think that worked. Does it have a gravity volume? As the flower pot prefab. let me look at the Unity project real quick. Flower pot. Where is that? And so some of these models are loading in. Not all of them, though. The actual flower pot is missing. Okay, so here they manually set up a gravity volume with magnitude of 12. Okay. So that's going to be a problem because I can't export this into the game without breaking it because I'm missing the models and I can't get the models to load. So I think, unfortunately, we have to leave the gravity as is, which is kind of unfortunate. Let me think about what to do here. I guess we'll circle back to that. There's nothing we can do about it for now. Okay, well, considering we've got a light bulb, and we've got solar power on the sandstone, and it looks like flowers that are growing based on light, I wonder if we do something where we control the brightness of the sun to change things somehow? Like maybe it's dying out and we have to find a way to like restart it or something? I don't know. Definitely feels like with the things we have here so far that light as a mechanic would make sense. With the timing on the train, we could potentially do something where something's only powered when the train is facing the light bulb. That'd be pretty easy to do. And I wonder if we can make it so that it's stopped by default, but then you can do something to restart the train and that gets it moving again. Let's see how that object is set up. That is on the Sandstone planet. Installing the Sandstone planet prefab. Man, not having the models loaded really sucks. I guess my Blender version just isn't compatible or whatever. Okay, so this... Actually, no, that's just going to be a huge issue. I can't go back in the live split, though. It's fine. I'll do that off stream if I have to. So we got the planet. The planet is moving. We've got the ring. The ring is moving with an animation. Okay, that makes sense. So with that, I can set up a movement parameter for how fast it's moving. So we can control the speed of the ring as it moves. Alright, so if I do just this and no other changes, theoretically... Oh, but I still have to re-export. Okay, never mind. I am pausing the timer. I am going to go re-download an older version of Blender and see if that fixes it. It's kind of silly. Blender 2.93. I don't want to download it through Windows Store. Blender. .93. Is rewind time. That's why I really don't like people using Blender files as their models like this. I wish they would export them. Because not everyone has Blender set up the same way. Gonna break stuff. Alright, are you going? You're frozen. Okay, there it's going. Okay. Now we can launch this ancient version of Blender. Edit, preferences, system. There's a thing for this, right? Okay, well, that didn't work. Default programs, default apps. Defaults by file type, blend. And I want to select specifically this version of Blender. There we go. So now theoretically, try restarting. Nope. I don't know what's wrong, but it absolutely refuses to load these models. But if I open it, it's still going to be wrong too. Yep. No cactus. Yeah, I'll probably go yell at the previous developer off stream. Okay. If I can't do that, then everything I can do is gonna be like a hacky workaround. That's really unfortunate. That's really tragic. Oh well. This doesn't have to be a very well put together mod anyway. Is that? Full ring. That's the one. Or are there two? Full ring and solar ring. Yeah, this doesn't have any animations on it, does it? No. On Sandstone Planet. So the full ring has an animation. Oh, the solar ring is a separate thing, and that also has an animation. So both of those rings spin. Am I able to see that from here? Of course, I flew way too far away real quick. Is there a way to set where the blender was here? I don't think so. No. Okay. So theoretically, the two rings have separate animations. I think the solar ring is the outer part with the those on it. So what's specific to the full ring? That includes the lamps. I think that's these little things. So what animation is that playing? It's also playing ring spin. Are they both playing ring spin? No, this one's playing rotate. Okay. So full ring. It's playing ring spin. Which doesn't seem to do anything. Interesting. Yeah, there's no keyframes for that animation. Whereas Solar Ring does have an animation, which is it rotating like this. Yeah, okay. So basically, the other one has an animator on it for no reason. Okay. So Solar Ring is the one that we want to change. Not full ring. Hi Kitsu, how's it going? I'm doing a pass the mod, is what they're calling it. Yeah, so it's if you ever seen any of those YouTube thumbnails for things like, oh, we had 5 different developers work on an indie game without communicating with each other, it's like that. So someone started the mod and then pass it off to someone else who and they'll pass it off to someone else with no communication in between. So you just get handed this project that already has some work done on it with no context, and you have 5 hours to add whatever you want to it, new features or whatever, and then you pass it off to the next person in the chain. The idea is you end up with kind of a project that's a Frankenstein of a bunch of different people's inputs and methodologies. So yeah, that's what we're doing. It's a cool idea, I think. I don't know how well it'll work in practice. So I've been given this project that has some cool planets and some 3D models in it already, but there's not any interactivity or writing or dialogue or anything in it yet, and I need to decide what to add to it. I've got 5 hours to contribute things, 5 hours of meaningful work, not counting setup time. So that's what we're doing. I apologize in advance, it's going to be a low energy stream probably, because I'm distracted and focusing on getting stuff done. I figured if I'm going to work on this, I might as well stream it. I can also edit this for like devlog style things later if I want to. Okay. And unfortunately I can't edit the 3D models, which is very unfortunate, which means I cannot modify any parts of this project because it'll replace them with the missing models that I can't load. Very unfortunate. So I can make some code changes, I can plop other things down, but I cannot change the planets themselves in their current state without hacky workarounds. So that is unfortunate, but what can you do? Alright, so I think I am going to work on a hacky workaround though. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. We'll resume the timer. There we go. So I think what we're gonna do here is, to avoid screwing up any of the existing things, I'm going to see if I can create my own bundle here. I'm gonna go talk to the previous mod author and see if I can get them to export their models properly, because they're not loading for me, and that's a problem. I can't edit any of the planets. Let's see. Is this a good idea? This is a bad idea. I shouldn't do this like that. Not a hacky workaround where I just replace things with code. Let's see. So currently I'm thinking about making this kind of rail system here spin at a different speed. Let's see if I can do that just through code without having to muck with the actual assets. So this is the sandstone planet, this is the full ring, and it's the solar ring that's spinning. Right now it's using an animator. Theoretically I could disable the animator and drive it through code instead. Maybe that's what I do. Just get rid of the animation entirely. But is there like a animation speed multiplier I could modify? There is. Animator.speed. So if I set this to like 5, suddenly it's moving a lot faster. That's perfect. Okay, and if I set it to like 0, and it's come to a complete stop. Okay, so I can use that to control the speed of the solar train thing going on here, the monorail, as Yahazu put it. You know, you can change it on the fly without having to restart. It's neat. I can change some things. There's this mod that lets me muck with all the properties on all the objects while the game is running. Some things I have to restart for, like to add new objects or change models or anything like that, but for just changing properties on the existing objects, this really nice mod can do that from in-game. I use that a lot for testing stuff. Alright, so we want to get the sandstone planet, and we want to get the... what's it called? The solar ring in it. And we want to grab the animator on there, and we want to be able to control its speed through code. I'm going to go ahead and do that here. I'm going to go to my code project here. I'll create a new folder. Our components. And then we'll create a new class. We'll call this Solar Ring Controller, because it's going to control the solar ring. Go figure. Make it a Unity script. Alright, and then when this runs, we'll first grab the animator that we were just messing with. Yep, get that. And then we'll have a current speed variable and a target speed. And then we'll set when everything starts, set the current speed to 0. So we want to smoothly move the current speed to the target speed. I think if we just seamlessly blend it from 0 to 1, that should feel smooth enough, because that's the rate of motion. Basically think like constant acceleration, but not constant velocity. Yes, we'll do that. Current speed, move towards the target speed based on the acceleration, update the animator with that speed. That all makes sense. Hate that it looks grayed out like this. Do that to make that not gray out. Okay. So all that should cause it to start at 0, and then currently nothing is going to change that, but we'll do that next. Cool. And then when the scene loads, we're going to go ahead and register our new solar ring controller. First, we need to check if we are in our custom solar system or not. Let's see. New Horizons. Get current star system. And then our star system is called Deadlight System. Okay. So now we find the sandstone planet. It's called just Sandstone. New Horizons.getPlanet. It's called Sandstone. And then we drill down all the way through here to find the solar ring. So planet dot transform dot find. Drill down into here. Let's see. So it'll be sector sandstone planet. In which Windows Focus sound louder? Oh yeah, that's probably Outer Wilds having a custom microphone preset. That's obnoxious. Yeah, okay, wow, that is a noticeable difference. Sorry about that. I don't know if I have an easy fix for that at the moment. Unfortunate. It's not a VTuber stream without scuff, right? I'll have to go into the settings later. Well, let's see. I just have to use the shitty Logitech software. Because it doesn't respect my adjusted volume for some reason. Okay, input gain 6. Gain 2. Amazing that it's that subtle. I click in Outer Wilds, and now it's louder. Is that better? Am I always quiet now? That looks better. If I switch back and forth, does it reset? Okay, now it's staying static. That's good. If you want me to be louder or quieter, I can go either way. But I would like it to be consistent. That would be nice. Okay, Sandstone Planet, full ring. Solar ring. As long as you can hear, fair enough. So if I'm too quiet, let me know. Okay. And if we don't have a solar ring, throw an error. Cool. So now if I restart the game after building this, that should now give us control over the solar ring. Impression of a person who's in a modding Secret Santa past the mod. That's more or less what's happening. Hi Sugi, how's it going? Someone else started the mod and then they pass it to someone else with no context. Pass it to me with no context. I'm gonna pass it on to someone else with no context. It's gonna be great. Everything's great. I've got... Oh, that's not good. 5 total hours to make changes to the game. Probably won't all happen today. Alright, we're getting errors. That is... interesting. There is no cactus. How are things coming along? Well, turns out they modeled all the custom models for the game, for the mod in Blender, and are relying on Unity's default Blender conversion script, which is very buggy and doesn't work on my computer for some reason. So none of the models are loading, so I can't make any changes to any objects that have the models in them. So we're doing hacky workarounds like modifying things directly from code at runtime instead of being able to modify the existing planets, which is not ideal, but such is life. Okay, I think the game just hard crashed. That's cool. That's a new one. Okay, let's see, what else can I do here? If there's no Sandstone Planet, throw an error about that. Actually, we should... that's fine. That's fine. Hey, did I rebuild? I feel like I rebuilt. Yeah, okay. Now let the game load. Yeah, so far in this mod, we've got a sun shaped like a light bulb, and 3 planets with stuff on them, and there's no mechanics, no gameplay, no script. So we are just figuring out what we want to add. And my thought is, I'm mostly a programmer. I can do a little bit of everything, but programming is my strength. So I want to add some mechanics that future mod developers on this project can use to implement stuff. That's the goal. Could not find the sandstone planet. Okay. Why not? That's the question. Why not? Why is it not even letting us die and respawn? It's just crashing. Hard crashing. Okay. I know sometimes this can happen. Where things aren't available first frame. So we'll do mod helper. Unity. What is it? Events. Unity dot. Fire and updates. Gonna add an artificial delay before we rig everything up. How many people are participating? I don't actually remember. I don't know if it was ever said. I want to say like 5 or 6 people, but I don't know for sure how many people ended up signing up. But there are 5 or 6 people who expressed interest directly in the Discord channel. Yeah, we already destroyed a planet. That's a great start. Now let's try this again. Outer Wild soundtrack is so good. Alright, well, it loaded that time. That's promising. Okay, I see the train is moving. Are there any errors? It still could not find the sandstone planet, so what is different? Sandstone, that is the name. I guess we can try a different way of doing it. Object.find? No. Is it transform.find? No. Game object.find. That's what it is. Sandstone body. I bet now we don't have to wait for the delay. Alright, let's try that. 3rd time's the charm. See if the code can actually find the planet this time. Now it's back to crashing. Why can it not find the sandstone planet? That is its name. I'm very confused. Do I have a typo somewhere? Let's see. Mod helper dot. Is it logger? Or is it console right line? This is getting a little silly. Is there a better way to do this? New Horizons dot on. No. Get. Maybe get body loaded event. Yeah, we'll we'll do that instead, actually, maybe. I think that's the name of the body. So ignore all the others, and then we grab that. That should be whenever this runs, and it is the sandstone planet, we can do stuff with it. Now to find out if I just am making a dumb typo, which is very possible. I spent 26 minutes on a dumb typo. Said 5 hours. 5 hours is not a long amount of time to contribute stuff to this. I'll probably not get all 5 hours in tonight. I'll probably work on this for like an hour or two. And then think on it for a few days, and then probably do another Saturday stream to wrap it up. Okay, no errors. I did it. Set up things correctly. No. Okay. So I wonder if it's because there's not supposed to be a space. Loaded event. Listener on star system. Loaded. The system name is not. I need to copy this again. Deadlight system. It's literally just that I needed to put a space in sandstone. Now it's trying to use its internal name instead of the original name. And it's just called sandstone underscore body. That looks correct. Okay. Try it again. This is so jank. I suppose it would probably be cheating to add a dialogue that tells people what the mechanics are supposed to be. But I'm still going to need some way of demonstrating it, so they know they can use it. You'll throw in some placeholder ship logs. Okay. Did that work? It's not airing out, at least. Yes, okay, finally! Finally, we've got our custom controller here. So now if we set the target speed to something crazy, like 10, we should see it start to accelerate over time. It is, it's going a bit slow. Current speed is still 1. And then change target speed. What's up with that? Yeah, it should move current speed to target speed times acceleration. That was just because this isn't auto-updating, that's why. Okay, so it is accelerating, but rather slowly. We can improve that. Can we update that? No, it's static. Okay. Let's change this to a variable so we can modify it for testing. Train. It is indeed a train. Okay. And unfortunately for code changes, we do have to fully restart the game every time. I suppose I get time saver. There we go. Oh, nice. That is not just the regular End Times theme. I love the End Times theme, though. That is probably my favorite Outer Wilds track. Change my sound settings again. Cyberpunk? Why did it switch to the Cyberpunk preset? I am not playing Cyberpunk. That was weird. Okay, well, it looks like it's stable now, theoretically. This isn't Cyberpunk. It's a little bit Cyberpunk, but it is not Cyberpunk 2077 by CD Projekt Red. It literally just set it to Cyberpunk. Why does it think I'm playing Cyberpunk? Honestly, I hate the fact that there are game profiles here. Can I delete them all? It has manually added a bunch of profiles and I can individually disable or delete them. Okay. Give me a minute. I need to go delete all these microphone profiles. Why do I need a Skyrim microphone profile? Where is the logic there? I hate Logitech. Consider playing Cyberpunk right now. I don't have it installed. I would not be able to play it tonight. How long it takes to download and install. Okay, there's now only a desktop profile. Yes, there's one active profile. Oh, sorry, no, there's a bunch of inactive profiles that it will automatically switch to. Okay, delete all of those. Go away, go away, go away. I do not need a Marvel Rifles microphone profile, or an Overwatch 2 profile, or a Battle World profile. I guess it could be worse. It could be AI. This should not count against my stream timer. What am I doing? Let me pause that for a minute. That is not counting as my 5 hours trying to fix Logitech's shitty setup. Okay, there we go. There is only one profile, the desktop profile. Perfect. Now I go into here and I set input gain to 2. Okay. There we go. If it keeps fucking up, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Alright, cool. Alright, so anyway, now back to actually working on stuff. I'm gonna let the timer stay paused for another minute to make up for the fact that I was doing stuff for a few minutes there. Okay, so now we got access to the controller, we can see the acceleration values. Let's jam it up to 10 times speed. Oh yeah, you can notice it accelerating now, look at that. Oh, that was weird. Does it not loop? It does not loop, it comes to a stop. It really is a monorail. Okay, that's funny. But not, I think, what I want it to do. Alright, so what's actually rotating on this? It is the solar ring object. It is the x-axis rotation. It is continually spinning. So what if I just drive that directly? First we disable the animator. And instead of driving the animator speed, we are going to update the rotation. To move that many rotations per second. Yeah, let's try that. I don't know, are code comments against the spirit of this thing? I guess kind of, yeah. Supposed to be no communication. My code is self-documenting. Said every bad programmer ever. Future mod developers are just going to figure it out. Biggest lie in programming. They're self-documenting to me. I could read my own code. Other people's code, not so much. Oh, I need to stop doing that. Okay, so now... That's not right. That's not right at all. Okay, what's it doing wrong? Let's do this a different way. Current rotation. Now let's do a vector 3. Current rotation. Current rotation, so that should be positive x, rotating. Yeah, that makes sense. A very scientific method of change the code, run the game again, see what happens differently. I have that correct, yeah? Yeah, okay, yeah, it's just applying a full 360-degree rotation on the x-axis. And it's got smoothing turned on, so it starts and stops. Which, I see the vision, but I don't like it starting and stopping. Okay, there we go. That's better. Alright. So now that's 1 full revolution per second, which is probably a bit too fast. Probably. Very quick spin. So let's drop that down a bit. Where is planet? Sandstone, there we go. I'm not used to looking at this project's planets. Solar ring, controller, there we go. Okay. So let's set target speed to like 0.2. And that's still pretty fast. That feels like a good maximum. Like 0.05. Slows down almost immediately. So now also the acceleration's a little bit messed up. What if we go the other direction? What if we say these are in degrees, not full rotations. And then we say target speed is like 30 degrees per second. And we accelerate 15 degrees per second. Something like that. As funny as it rapidly spinning is. Spin to win. That's the idea. Alright, that looks a little more reasonable. Alright, then if we wanted to decelerate to a stop, we can do that. Let me search for solar ring controller. Just grab it directly. That's a little bit faster. So if we set the target speed to 0 instead of 30 degrees per second, 0 degrees per second. Yeah, that kind of smoothly comes to a stop. Very cool. And is this planet tidally locked? No. Unless it doesn't always face the sun the same direction. So, what if we made it move as it faces the sunlight? I think we could figure out a way to do that. So we've got solar ring. Do we have a way of telling what direction the train car is facing? Let's see. we look at the full ring in the Sandstone planet. So if we look at the solar ring's pivot point, the train is on the negative X direction, it looks like, when it starts, and then we're spinning it on the X-axis. That's not right. Now we're spinning it on the X-axis. Okay. If I create an empty object in here. Okay, now I positioned it negative 200 on the x-axis. That would be the center of the train. That makes sense. Windows noises, yep. Does an autosave pop up every time you edit anything. I'm gonna undo all of these changes. None of that is real. Okay. So we say train center. I think it's transform point, or is it inverse transform point? I always forget these two. First transform point transforms it to world space to local space. We want local space to world space. So we want transform point, yeah. So we want the point that is negative 200 on the x-axis away from the center of the solar ring. That sounds right. Alright, have a good lurk, Sugi. And then let's get the sun location. Sandstone planet. And then the sun is called, it's called Altered Sun, not Dead Light. We have the Sandstone planet there. Change this to sun. Horizons not get planet. Actually, it's called Dead Light. Okay, so we grab all of that. With all that, we can get the sun position. Let's see. So do I want the light to be relevant? Relative to the current position? We get the direction to the sun from the planet. And then we get trainer, direction to the train. And then we can get how much the train is facing the sun by getting the dot product of these. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we can adjust the target speed based on that. So when the train is not facing the sun, it should decelerate down to 0. When it is facing the sun, it accelerates up to 60 degrees per second. Let's see how that works. We need to close that. Rebuild. This is working, right? It's gotta be. Yeah, I've been making changes this whole time. Like I said, slow stream, not a lot happening. Alright, I should resume the timer now. It's probably longer than I should have been doing that. Whoops. Yeah, it's best effort. About 5 hours. And there's all these false positive red messages on the console. It's distracting. I keep forgetting not to get up because the ship falls for a few seconds before it lands. And if you get up too quickly, you just die when the ship bumps into the planet. There we go. Okay. You can see the train's moving pretty slowly right now. It's not really facing the sun. Might be a false positive when you be a true negative. True. Yeah, so it's kind of slowly inching along because of how the sun's moving. Kind of pushing it. It's not quite what we want. Let's make this planet tidally locked real quick. It's tidally locked true, look at that. It's so easy. Okay. And then build. Load configs. Now those config files we can reload without having to restart the game, which is nice. So that should do it. Now the same side should always be facing the sun. Hey Carrick, how's it going? I think it's working. It's just the planet's rotating. inheriting its rotational velocity. Yeah, okay. You live? Good to hear. Oh. Is there oxygen here? No. I suffocated to death. Very cool. Classic Outer Wilds. Classic. There's cactus here. There should be oxygen. I feel like. Maybe it's too sparse for that. Okay. So we have successfully made it so the train doesn't move when it's facing away from the sun. Which could be intentional. Potentially. But let's say, for example, that it was already at full speed. Let me grab past the mod. So the ring controller. And you set its current target speed to max speed. That's gonna immediately override that, isn't it? Yeah, that makes sense. Set its current speed. Sorry, we set its current speed to 60. There we go. Okay, then it does slow down when it's looking away pretty quickly. Make the oxygen yourself, you're so right. And I feel like that decelerated too quick. Why? Alright, because it's moving very fast. So let's lower that. Lower the speed. Fast. Okay, almost. So you notice even though it's slowing down on the slower side, it still made a few extra revolutions. My thought process is, what if we can get it up to speed where it's self-sufficient and it just keeps spinning under its own power, making full loops? That'd be kind of cool. So let's see. What's the best way to do that? Have a separate deceleration speed. Have faster acceleration. Start off with both of them going to maybe 90. Maybe also add a fudge factor here. Restart that because it's a code change. Whoops, I forgot to change. So if, yeah, our target speed is greater than our current speed, then we accelerate, otherwise we decelerate. That makes sense. So it's easier to pick up speed than it is to lose speed. So yeah, let's go ahead and add oxygen to this planet. Why not? It's actually super easy to do. Check this out. Has oxygen, true. Boom. The planet now has oxygen. I love New Horizons. lets you do stuff like that. It just has all these features built in. If you want oxygen, you just say you want oxygen, and boom, there's oxygen. You don't have to set it all up yourself, manually adding all the objects in Unity. Okay. So now, despite the fact that it slows down when the sun isn't facing it, it should just continue to go indefinitely now that it's up to speed. Let's see if... give it a few seconds to see if it ever stops. So we could do something like, oh, this needs to be spinning like a turbine to power up something else, or some Nomai technology. But because of the sunlight dimming, it doesn't feel like it slows down. No, I think it's slowing down, but it's slowing down a lot less than it's speeding up, so it's maintaining its speed pretty well, which is what we want. So if we change that, though, then what I want is if it's already stopped, then it's not going to pick up enough speed to keep going. So we go here, we change this current speed to 0, target speed to 0. Okay, it still accelerates pretty quick. Let's increase the deceleration speed. See if those are mirrored again. Almost came to a stop there, but then it looped around again. That was close. It's like a roller coaster. Okay, but now if I reset its speed to 0, like now, then it stays stopped. Okay. That's what I wanted. Okay, and then how can we make this better? So maybe if we adjust the acceleration depending on the power of the sun or something. So if we set this to a lower value, yeah, then it comes to a stop and doesn't complete the rotation. Okay. Yeah, so let's say current speed is 0, target speed is 0, acceleration is 10, deceleration is 20. Simulated like half power. And then let's have top speed 90. That should be good. And then let's see what happens if it's not tightly locked anymore. Let's see what happens when we do all that. Okay. Alright, so currently it's mostly stopped. It's moving a little bit because it's getting this side of the sun. Not very efficient. And then if we change that... So if we change that to a much higher acceleration value... Not enough because it's on the edge, kind of. We change that to a much lower number. Still moving pretty fast. Probably straight up 0. It shouldn't be moving at all now, so why is it still moving? Current speed should not be moving up to the target speed. I guess it never decelerates. It's current point, so if I set current speed to 0 now. Yeah, it stopped. I kind of wish it spun the other direction. Can I invert the orbit of this planet? Actually, I guess it doesn't matter. The train doesn't have a direction. Okay. So now if we let it accelerate again. Thanks to the hydrate. I think it's part way around. Yeah, it's kind of perpetually stuck there because it's getting just a little bit of sunlight. Let me change that. Right now it's getting sunlight from the edges because of this fudge factor. Get rid of the fudge factor. Let's see, so what do I want here? What do I want it to do? I want it to move when the sun passes over it, but not enough to get it to spin all the way around. But I want to be able to adjust that so under like brighter sunlight it does speed up faster. moving slowly. I wonder if I actually do want it to go faster. Let's see. I wanted to like bump the sunlight and immediately jump forward a bit and then stop. So I do actually want much higher acceleration. A higher top speed. So actually, no, I don't want... I don't want to set the target speed based on the closeness. I want to set the acceleration based on the closeness. Duh. So the... So let's say acceleration based on the closeness. Times acceleration. Closeness is greater than 0. Acceleration of the deceleration. I think that works. And the current speed is towards the target speed. It's really top speed, not the target speed anymore. So what I want to do? No, I think I just want to... increase the speed by the multiplier. I don't think I actually care about top speed anymore. Yeah. Okay. So just... the closer... the more sunlight it has, basically, the faster it moves. And the less sunlight it has, the slower it moves. That makes sense. Let's see how that works. It's gonna be kind of experimental. There's also a simpler algorithm, so it's probably for the best. Okay, so it accelerated until the sun wasn't facing it, and now it's rolling backwards. It's accelerating because the sun's facing it. That's rolling backwards. I don't think we wanted to roll backwards. I think we wanted to just slow to a stop automatically. So let me think about this. Okay. Let's have a drag value, maybe. Current speed is at least 0. So you can't go backwards, no negative speed. And then we accelerate or decelerate. I think that makes sense. Let's see how that goes. Kind of just want to simulate friction, slowing it down. Well, I guess drag should be proportional to speed. Oh well. Let's see how this looks. It's currently moving slowly. Slow to a stop. Then as the sun approaches the center, it starts accelerating again. And then comes to a stop again. Okay, I actually like that. That's kind of what I wanted. I like the starting stopping motion. I think that's what I wanted. Let's see if we can make it more pronounced. The idea that it's trying to move as it gets sunlight, but it's not enough. I think that's kind of what I wanted to go for here. So we bump this up to like 20. Can't tell if it's getting any further or not. Or if it's just pushing it more often. I have no one adjust this orbit. I might throw all this off. Okay, so that seems to basically do what I wanted to do. Now, if somehow it managed to have a bunch of speed already, I think it's gonna need a lot more than that. Has a bunch of speed already. There we go. Does it come to a stop? Does it move continuously? I think it might be decelerating still. It's hard to tell. That's cool though. I like that we can control the train like this. I think it's definitely slowing down. Even if we get a big jump start from that, it doesn't fix it. Update the acceleration high, maybe? Take a little bit for it to spin around. There we go. You kind of see it looks getting like pushed by the sun. Like it's on the hill of a roller coaster. Still not enough. How much acceleration do we need to break the barrier and get a full rotation out of it? More than that. Okay. 360. Make it fast enough it looks like it's not moving? Yes, we definitely could. Jeez, okay. Deceleration is really egregious. There we go. That is about as fast as I can go. Let's see. I don't think it's gonna blur anymore if I make it go faster, but yeah. No, it's just frame rate limitations at that point. That's how fast we can go. Okay. Just immediately came to a stop. If I'm wondering, we're hitting floating point issues, maybe. Okay. Just immediately coming to a stop. Okay, am I doing something wrong here? Oh, yeah. That makes sense. It is still applying negative acceleration. My bad. Very, very simple drag calculation. Just applying a constant deceleration every frame. But, it's not realistic, but if it makes for good gameplay, that's good enough. So we're now 1 hour into our 5 hours on this one mechanic. Such is life. Okay, so currently it's stopped. The sun kind of pushes it. Makes it a little bit of the way. Stops again. Alright. Now if I crank that up way higher. $600. And it doesn't make a noticeable difference here. Now I set the current speed to a higher value. There we go. Now it is continually speeding up every time it passes the sun, and quickly becoming ridiculous. Alright, let's lower that back down. it's still probably too fast. Let's see. How do we do exponential drag? Spin to win. Doesn't help. Exponential drag. Time. Physics. Okay. I'm just gonna shamelessly steal someone else's code off the internet, as you do. Current speed. Delta time divided by drag. So that should apply our deceleration. So we don't need that anymore. Cool. So apply drag, then we'll apply the acceleration. Let's see how that works. Not technically physics accurate, but I don't want it to be. right? That looks right, I think. So as we go back to fixed rate deceleration. Whoa. That's not right. Hello. Do we break? Do that again. Yeah. Okay. Things are horribly broken. Never mind. I'm gonna undo that. I don't trust it. And so the drag factor. Based on the current speed. Yeah, that's a good fudge factor, I think. I want to do this. Something like that, I guess. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so it is currently not moving. As the sun passes nearby. Moves a bit. It's overcome by drag and slows down a little bit. Kind of just moving at a constant speed now, actually. Okay, never mind. No drag. We do fixed deceleration, as we had before. And then we do implement a top speed. 2 rotations per second. So minimum. We can be moving 0, and at maximum we can be moving top speed. That works. Yeah. That makes sense. Simple, artificial, simple and clean.